welcome to the Science Faction Podcast, where science meets fact meets fiction.
This is Science Faction for the week of July 14th, 2025. I'm one of your hosts, Stephen Dominguez. And with me today, two individuals. Maybe they saw something woke. Maybe they didn't. We'll see.
I'm Benjamin Daniel Ellis. I don't know what you're talking about.
Sweet.
Devon Craft.
All right.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
I mean, I hope I saw something woke. That would be great.
The new Superman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. How?
The people that we tend not to agree with about their politics are hating it. People that are fans of Superman are loving it. So we'll put it that
cool.
way.
So I'm probably gonna love it.
You're probably gonna love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What I've heard, just the general that people, someone thinks it's woke, and then James Gunn said, "Well, Superman's an immigrant."
Yeah.
Is that it, or are there other elements in the movie that support the
it's
dumb allegation that it's woke?
No, people are
Don't
dumb.
they say everything's woke? I mean, just having like a woman in a movie now is like woke.
Well, see, the term woke, this is a podcast about science and science fiction. The term woke can be whatever they want it to be at this point. Originally, it was a term, the way that I understand it as a white male, cisgendered male in America. The way I understood woke is like, oh, let's be aware of what is actually happening in our society. Like,
right. Wake up,
be woke, understand that when things that there's racism everywhere, and to not turn a blind eye and stuff like that. But now woke is anytime someone doesn't agree with the politics or even messaging within something, they just slap the label woke on it to say that it's nonsense and walk away. So there's nothing in this movie that's like, that's banging, that's trying to beat a message over your head. The one little review that I saw that I think perfectly explains this Superman is this, and I don't have a source for this. I was scrolling through Instagram, and some people from some thing came on and were talking about it.
As one does.
But you think this Superman is a firefighter, not a policeman. So there is one great conversation within this movie, and it's when Lois is interviewing Superman. Because he's Superman, he's not Clark Kent. I mean, that's confusing, but she's interviewing him. And they get into, there's something that he did that's not on screen. It's something that he had already done, where there were two countries about to go to war with each other, and he stepped in and made it stop. And so then Lois starts a line of questioning of like, you didn't stop to think about the political ramifications of this. And essentially Superman says, yeah, I didn't. People were going to die. I just stopped it. So it's not about, he's not a character in this movie that is trying to uphold laws. He is simply trying to save lives. And you think about that, the difference between a police officer and a firefighter, right? A firefighter is not going to stop and ask about zoning laws when rushing into a building to save somebody. They do it because it's the right thing to do. And that's where this Superman lives, this version of Superman. And it's great. So anyways, that's the woke nonsense. If that's a really quick primer on the Superman woke nonsense. Don't worry about that. It was a fun movie.
Rad.
Yeah.
Great.
No, it was cool. So yeah, what was I think the best bit about it, and I watched this movie with my wife Martine and our friends Greg and his wife Christina. Christina hated it. Oh, we came out of the theater and she was dripping with vitriol. And so we're like, what, why? And it was because the movie and this is definitely an opinion-based situation, and I can understand her point of view. The movie does not spend a lot of time with certain characters. These characters just exist, and you kind of get their role by context, and then it moves on. And she definitely did not like that, and that's fine. Some movies you want to sit with the characters and learn about them and their motivations. And there are so many characters, and James Gunn, I think, is the director. I believe writer and director. He's really good at big ensemble casts and knowing, like, I'm going to give you just enough information about this person so that they make sense, but we're not going to do a deep dive because you can't, because there's too many people and the movie would be 5 hours long.
I heard there's like no time spent on Superman's origin story.
Correct.
Is that true?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
It's funny because when you put, like, you make a new Batman movie and you put the origin story in, everyone's like, we know for the millionth time, we know his origin story, move on.
Same
and then
thing
you
with
finally
Spider-Man.
do that.
Yep.
Yeah, well, then you finally do that, and like, well, you could have spent some time on the origin story.
Yeah, people are going to complain either way. His origin is implied, and that's enough. And the movie starts out in a really great way of text going like and this is like real one. The movie starts, and this is what, like, there's the scene of Antarctica, and it says like 300 years ago, metahumans arrived. 30 years ago, this happened. 3 years ago, this happened. 3 weeks ago, this happened. 3 hours ago, this happened. 3 minutes ago, it just like goes down, and it just kind of quickly breaks down the timeline to get you in the right headspace for what's going on in the movie. The 3 years ago was like Superman started being Superman 3 years ago, is essentially what it was. And it was like 30 years ago, an alien, the last son of Krypton, landed on Earth.
That's something. I mean, that's more than I thought, given what I heard. So
yeah, no,
that's enough.
There's enough that if you have, for some reason, have no idea who Superman is, it kind of lets you center. It gives you just enough information to go, he's an alien from another world. He has powers. He's trying to help people. But then 3 minutes ago, he just lost his first fight. And then that's the scene everyone's seen from the trailers where he like lands in the snow and he's all bloody and everything. And so that's how the movie starts. And there's like all these like other superheroes and stuff that they give like just enough to that you kind of get their deal and where they are in alignment with Superman, I guess. But it's fine. And the whole movie comes together like it doesn't take itself too seriously, which is great. It has its own internal logic, which is consistent, and that's great. Like Superman is like pretty good at what he does, but he's not an indestructible thing, right? Like a lot of times, I feel like in the Man of Steel, the Snyderverse Superman, he was like an immortal godlike being, right? He just was the top of the top, and this Superman is not that. Like he has limits. He may be the strongest superhero, but that doesn't mean he's a god, right? Which was a good place to put him because you hit him hard enough, yeah, you can hurt him, but you got to hit him real hard. And so the bad guys try to figure that out. Anyways, great movie, great start to a new DC EU or whatever, DC movie universe, whatever you want to call it. A great start to that. And just like overall, it was a fun movie. Like there was a lot of punching, but it was a good movie. And I think they got Superman's sense of morality correct 100%. And I've heard him been called like a Boy Scout before, but I've never seen that embodied on the screen, and this one definitely got that. Like he's very much like, gee willikers, I'm gonna do the best I can, and you're like, okay, as but then he has the clout to back it up, to be like, yeah, I'm not picking a side in this war, I'm stopping people from dying, and that's the right thing to do. But then you leave it at that, and who cares about the politics and stuff. Anyways, It's a very
Right
interesting movie. I highly recommend it. If you come out of the movie going, "This is woke," you need to re-examine your life. So,
Oh man.
yeah.
Oh
What's
yeah.
up?
That's cool. Well, Devin, I'm curious. How's the weather, man? How's you're in
We've
Texas?
had on and off. We've had rain yesterday. I mean, I don't live anywhere near the flood issues, so I'm not part of that.
Yeah.
So if that's what you're thinking, like we've had kind of just regular stormy weather for around here. But no issues like that.
Okay.
Awesome.
All
Yeah.
right.
How's your
Yeah.
backyard holding up? Got any trees falling over?
No, no trees falling over. We've just when you ask about the backyard, we've just been working on the backyard like every weekend, getting it ready to put down fake grass. So we've just been tearing stuff out, which that's mostly done, and now just trying to level it. We've actually got an order from Lowe's of like 50 bags of sand that are supposed to be delivered sometime today.
Whoa.
So when they dump all those on our driveway, I'll have to haul those to the backyard. Um, uh, so that's what's going on with our backyard. So nothing
Right on, man.
dangerous.
It just seemed like every week I want to just a little update. That's cool.
Yeah.
You're getting there. No snakes. Didn't you have a snake issue before?
Yeah. Well, that's one of the benefits of doing what we're doing is since we're tearing out everything basically, we still have a lot of like really big trees because where we live is called the woods. We have huge pine trees in our backyard and all over the neighborhood, which are nice. It's what gives the neighborhood its character. Um, but like we got rid of like a lot of the ground brush and we had like a bunch of ivy all over the yard. So there was a snake found just outside our fence on the other side when the people were doing work out there.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a snake in our next door neighbor's yard, which is Jen's sister's yard. Both those times the snakes were copperheads, which are known as pit vipers, or in the pit viper family of snakes, which means they're venomous. So yeah, but we haven't seen any since then, and since our yard isn't accommodating for that, we should be fine.
Fantastic.
Hopefully.
I heard recently that there are venomous birds.
Really?
I haven't looked that up. Yeah.
Like venomous to where they're hazardous to humans, or 'cause, I mean,
Yeah.
so many animals use some kind of venom to like stun their prey or do something, but we don't think of them as dangerous because like if they bit us, it'd be like, oh, that kind of hurts, but it's not a medical emergency.
Yeah, I don't know much. Just I heard about it from a friend who works for an airline. Like
I mean,
when
yeah,
loading up, when
if
loading
they
or
go,
deloading a plane, there was like a hey, this box is like
Venomous
bird
birds.
dash venomous. And it's like, what? So he had to look it up, and he did, and he's like, oh, turns out that there are, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't surprise me. I'm sure, that's probably evolved in all kinds of different things.
Okay,
That's
so
cool.
I'm looking it up. There's a Wikipedia article called "Toxic Bird." Toxic birds are birds that use toxins to defend themselves from predators. Although no known bird actively injects or produces venom, toxic birds sequester poison from animals and plants they consume, especially poisonous insects. And then it gives a bunch of examples.
It stores the venom it gets from other things and then uses that. Interesting.
The pitohui, the ephrita, and the rufous or little shrike thrush all sequester batroc toxin in their skin and feathers. So yeah,
are they all from Australia?
Sure. No, I don't. It doesn't. No. Papua New Guinea, Africa, European quail. Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's all over. It seems like a good strategy for them.
Right?
You eat the poisonous thing, so that when people try to eat you, you're the poisonous thing, I guess.
Exactly.
Interesting. Toxic bird.
Yeah.
All right.
It's something I learned recently. I was interested about evolution, and Ben, since you watch Hank Green stuff. You might have heard this, but he's talking about evolution from fish to land animals. And he
Yes.
says, you saw that? And he's like, well, he's going over like what the biggest evolutionary changes would be to make that possible. And he's like, you might think it's lungs, but lungs actually developed very early in evolution, and fish had lungs from like very, very early, or whatever actually organism that predated fish, because that developed because you're taking in air. And so around your stomach, like you would end up sequestering air as needed, and then that developed the lung. So lungs actually existed before anything needed to come onto the land. So yeah.
Yeah. So this is a video. Here, I'll put the link in the show notes. It's called "The Hardest Problem Evolution Ever Solved."
And the answer is pretty cool. What he felt was the hardest actual problem that was solved.
Well, what was it?
Hmm.
We got to watch the video. Or you gonna tell us?
You had to take the ocean with you. So skin.
Oh, skin.
Ah.
Is like it's the most interesting thing because he talks about eyes. Eyes had to develop in a certain way, and how part the eye is still evolved to see underwater, but the lens has changed. So when you look underwater, it's blurry, but when you look on land, it's not blurry. But inside, there's still elements that would make more sense underwater, but then it had to evolve to adapt to land.
Interesting.
But no, it's skin because we had to take the ocean with us because we're fish who just took the ocean with us when we came out of the water.
Is that why your sweat is salty? Damn
Probably in
straight.
part.
Yeah, we're sweating ocean. Right on. Hey
Incredible.
Ben, where were you this weekend? You went off and did a
Well,
thing.
Dude, yeah, I had some old friends from high school, and then a couple others that have joined our group. We got together and went to Palmdale and had a weekend where we played board games and hung out
Ooh.
and played video games. It was really cool. And I played a so like I asked a friend who grew up in Palmdale, I was like, what is there to do there? And she was like, well, just hang out around the electrical poles. And I'm like, that's a little weird, but okay, I get it. And sure enough, as I'm driving in, there was a group of kids just hanging out around an electrical pole. It's just
That's what you got to do.
Yeah, but I got to play this board game called The Red Dragon Inn. Are you guys familiar with it?
I've never played it, but I've seen it on the shelf.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so basically the idea behind this is at the Red Dragon Inn, you and everybody playing are a party of heroic fantasy adventurers. You've already raided the dungeon, you've killed the monsters, you've taken their treasure, and now you're back at the inn celebrating your recent victory by gambling and drinking.
Oh.
And that's the game.
That's the game.
Is you're drinking, gambling, and roughhousing.
That's awesome.
And so the last person who is both sober enough to remain conscious and shrewd enough to hold on to his gold coins wins the game.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah, so you start off and there's like a bunch of different characters. Like it's a game for 2 to 4 players, but like there's I think when I was looking at the box, I don't know if this was like a bunch of expansions all together. Probably.
There's a lot of,
I guess,
from what I understand, there's a lot of expansions.
Yeah, so like I looked over the box and there was like 30 or 40 different characters we could have chosen, and each character has their own deck that they're playing with. So the character I played as was Zot the Wizard, who is he's basically like he's a magician, he's a wizard, so he knows all these card tricks. So a lot of what he does is cheat at gambling in order to get more money. And he has a pet bunny that's a familiar that he uses to distract people. And and so I did really good at the gambling part of it, but I ended up getting knocked out because my you have things that affect your fortitude and you have things that affect how drunk you are. And so they're both on opposite sides of like a point chart, and so when they meet, you're knocked out. and
I
that's the end of
see.
the game for you. You know.
Oh wow. So you
So
you've,
yeah,
you've passed out in the bar.
yes, exactly, exactly. And yeah, it was really easy to pick up, super fun. I recommend it.
Right on, man. How many people did you play with?
I played with 4.
Okay. What happens after you're knocked out? You just walk away from the game?
Yeah, the game you're knocked out. Yeah,
Okay.
you're out of the game. It's the last person standing sort of game.
How long did it take to play with that many people?
We I think we probably played for about an hour, I'd say.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah,
Because the thing
but
is,
like, and I knew nothing about the right, so like, yeah.
yeah, you came in
Mhm.
fresh.
Yes.
Some games, when there's a mechanism to knock you out, it can be a bummer because then that player just sits around until another game is played. But if the game is fast enough, then it's usually just fine to just sit there and get to watch it end and then start over, that kind of deal.
I wish that there was something for people to do when they're knocked out.
Okay.
I wasn't the first to get knocked out, but I did notice that like my buddy that got knocked out earlier than me is just kind of took a nap on the couch. So
yeah, that's
yeah.
kind of a bummer.
Yeah. But it was still a lot of fun while I was. So
right on. I'm looking through the link, the Board Game Geek link that you sent, and it looks like they're still putting out expansions for it in 2025, and it started in like 2012. Like I went to the earliest expansion. Yeah, that was in 2012. So this game's got some legs, looks like. That's interesting.
I see the Red Dragon Inn 2 was in 2008.
Oh. 2 as in a sequel game or 2 as in expansion?
It's a standalone game that can be combined with the original Red Dragon. So you can then play up to 8 players.
Okay, so it says integrates with Red Dragon in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, the Undercity was
I guess
in 2023.
They're all standalone expansions, it seems.
So they're all just like a group, a different group of players or a different group of tavern goers, and you can just mix and match as you get more expansions. I get it. That's cool.
Yes.
Right on.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So
right on.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, let's move right along here. I guess we can do. You guys want to do a future or now, or do you guys want to go straight to book club? We've got a time limit this week.
Let's make this future now quick.
Sure. Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, I don't have a. So yeah, we're gonna call this. We are most definitely entertained. And this comes from Science Daily, from an article that was published on April 23rd. And the title is Skeletal Evidence of Roman Gladiator Bitten by Lion in Combat.
Oh, wow.
So this is just like a fun little history thing. Bite marks found on a skeleton discovered in a Roman cemetery in York have revealed the first archaeological evidence of gladiatorial combat between a human and a lion. So yeah, this is crazy. So in 2010, there was a gladiator graveyard was found in Driffield Terrace, and there were within this graveyard there were 82 well-built young male skeletons. So
well built.
Yeah. Like they could tell these were muscular people. Experts at the time noted from tooth enamel the wide variety of Roman provinces from around the world that the skeletons hailed from, as well as evidence of unusual funeral rites at the burial site, and deaths consistent with gladiatorial combat, such as individuals being particularly strongly built as a result of training and a high frequency of healed injuries associated with violence. So, like, yeah, these people had been through it. So let's see. Malin Holst, lecturer in osteoarchaeology at the University of York's Department of Archaeology and managing director of York Osteoarchaeology, which specializes in the excavation, analysis, and reporting on human remains, said, quote, "The bite marks were likely made by a lion, which confirms that the skeletons buried at the cemetery were gladiators rather than soldiers or slaves, as initially thought, and represent the first osteological confirmation of human interaction with large carnivores in a combat or entertainment setting in the Roman world." So, like, I always thought that was just part of it. Like, yeah, they threw lions in there. Apparently, we've never actually had evidence of that. But now we do.
Gotcha.
Now we do. So we were right the
Yeah.
whole time.
We were right the whole time, so what does it matter?
We'll just find the evidence later.
Yeah, you
It wasn't just a
proclaim-
cool story, bro.
First, you proclaim what the truth is, and then you make it true, right? That's the
Yeah,
world we're living in,
skeletons
right?
or it didn't happen.
Skeletons or it didn't happen. Oh, let's see. This is the final piece of evidence from work that began in 2004 when the first skeletons were excavated from the 1,800-year-old Roman cemetery along the Roman road leading out of York to Tadcaster. Okay, so the skeletons, male, aged between 26 and 35, was buried in a grave with two others and overlaid with horse bones. In life, he appears to have had some issues with his spine that may have been caused by overloading to his back, inflammation of his lung and thigh, as well as malnutrition as a child, which he recovered from. So apparently, you can tell a whole lot from a skeleton.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dang.
the bone-related stuff, that makes sense, but inflammation of the lung? That's interesting.
Yeah, how do you... Is it scarring on the inside of the ribs or something?
I would, yeah, something like that. Let's see. The lion bite wound, confirmed by comparing it to sample bites from a lion at a zoo, was not healed and is therefore likely to have been his cause of death. It is believed that the individual was decapitated after death, which appears to have been a ritual for some individuals in the Roman period, although the reasons for this remain unclear. So he has a unhealed lion bite wound, but was also decapitated. Like, I wonder how closely those two things were related. You know, like, oh no, he got bitten. We're not going to be able to recover this. All right, cut off his head. Like, that was that was the maybe that was like the, hey, either he's going to be screaming for the next several days until he dies, or we just be done with it. And I wonder if that was a be done with it situation, which perhaps the gladiator asked for. You never know. Like, I mean, this dude just got mauled by a lion. Like, that's not cool. Let's see. Analysis of the skeleton points toward this being a bestiarius, a gladiator role undertaken by volunteers or slaves. Volunteers or slaves. Okay.
I mean, we couldn't necessarily determine why they're doing. Yeah, boy.
Yeah, that's interesting. Let's see. Mullen said, quote, "This is a hugely exciting find because we can now start to build a better image of what these gladiators were like in life. And it also confirms the presence of large cats and potentially other exotic animals in arenas in cities such as York, and how they too had to defend themselves from the threat of death." Let's see. York appears to have held gladiator arena events until as late as the 4th century AD, perhaps due to the fact that there were many senior generals and politicians that held posts in the city, which included Constantine, who appointed himself emperor there in 306 AD. Well, there you go.
All right.
Let's see. One last little bit here. Owners of gladiators would not have wanted them to die. They were expensive sports people, not too dissimilar to footballers today, and as such, they wanted them to win to be able to fight again, and if they didn't survive, they were often provided with gifts in death to serve in the afterlife, which is evident at some of the graves at Driffield Terrace.
Okay.
Yeah, very interesting. You know, having games and fighting is a great way to distract the populace from what's going on. In other news, there's going to be an MMA fight on the White House lawn. I don't know if you guys heard about that.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah.
For real?
Joe Rogan involved at all?
I don't know. I don't know who's involved, but I know that, or I saw a news article that it's in the works. So who knows anymore what's going on? It doesn't matter.
Well, didn't
Wow.
they took out the rose garden and they're like paving it over? Maybe they're building an octagon ring for MMA.
Well, I know the Rose Garden was taken out last time he was president because Melania was like, I don't want that.
It was last time? Okay.
I'm pretty sure
Maybe
it was
okay.
last time. It was what's her name's the Kennedy wife, right? It was
Becky Onassis, or yeah.
Yeah, it was the rose garden she'd planted, and so it was like this thing where the first lady would like take care of the rose garden until it was decided no. Anyways, all right.
Well, that's great.
That's great. Gladiators,
Jeez.
bitten by lions. I mean, it's cool that archaeology or osteoarchaeology can tell us that much about the past just from some graves, and you know, if curses were real, that would make a whole lot of sense because we've dug up a lot of graves over the years. And I mean, you know, anyways. All right, we're going to take ourselves a little break. And when we come back, we are doing a book club. So I hope everyone read The Last Question by Isaac Asimov. There are links in our show notes to either read or listen to it via YouTube, or perhaps other ways that Ben can explain to us later. So,
I'll explain. You know it.
I'm sure you will, and I cannot wait. So we'll be right back. Oh, wow. Another free listener. Incredible. Look, I love that you're here, but let's be real. You could be getting so much more. Bonus episodes, unfiltered takes, behind-the-scenes chaos. All you have to do is join our Patreon at patreon.com/sciencefactionpodcast. Or don't. But if you don't, just know that somewhere in a parallel universe, a better version of you already has. And we're back.
Heyo.
Hey, guys.
And a big thank you to our patrons, Renee and Josh. Keep it going. Thank you.
Thank you. And Renee had another comment. The thing I couldn't remember last week from Elio was Communiverse. That's what they called the big gathering that I just could not say it. And she texted, or not texted, but she commented, Communiverse. Yes. Thank you, Renee. Thank you. You're the best.
And then, and she's going to be at San Diego Comic-Con here in a week or two.
Yeah.
So
what should we have her look for? I mean, she asked if there was anything, and I was like, I don't know, Marvel news. But do you guys know anything you'd want to know? No?
I just want the world to stop spinning.
Well,
just stop. Just everybody take the day off.
Oh,
you know,
man, if only.
But no, I mean, like Star Trek stuff is always interesting. I'm really curious when they're going to be showing us anything from the Starfleet Command show, or Starfleet Academy show.
Okay, Starfleet Academy.
Yeah. So like, well, one of the things that they've done with Star Trek Strange New Worlds is that they announced. So we're about to get the third season released in I guess this week or next week, and they've already announced the fifth and final season.
Okay, fifth and final, sure.
Yeah. So, and it's gonna be like a short season. It's gonna be like 6 episodes. But
it's a wrap up. That's fine. That's cool that they gave them that and not just canceled.
Right, exactly. Yeah, but it's also like,
but they're about to show the third season, so like you get a full fourth season, but the fifth season, just don't waste your time. Just get that over with quickly.
Well, I mean, it could be that they're gonna give us a long story arc with the third, fourth, and fifth seasons, and then which doesn't seem like the MO of the show. Like the general idea of the show is no, we're going back to episodic television or to one-offs. So anyhow, I'm always interested in new Star Trek stuff. There is a new, actually, you know what, Renee, there is a new Star Trek comic book series coming out that sounds really, really freaking rad.
This is Comic-Con. They're not going to be talking about comic books.
Nerd.
Oh.
What's the new series about?
So the new series, I guess it's called the Last Starship, and it's set right at the beginning of the burn. In Star Trek Discovery, when it was like a 100-year period where all the dilithium in the universe had just blown up and destroyed like a bunch of ships, and it was basically made interstellar travel very difficult, if not impossible. And so
I'm sorry. You said universe, and I'm just curious if in the show did they say how far the burn expanded? Was it universal?
So this,
Which is
according
fine.
to,
They easily could have
yeah,
said that, and I
they
can even think of some ways to justify that. But I'm just
yeah,
curious if it was universal.
according to the official synopsis of The Last Starship, it was a galaxy-wide disaster,
Okay, because I'm like, if you're in a galaxy a billion light years from the galaxy that Star Trek takes place in, and your dilithium blows up, you got to be like, come on,
yeah,
like you would just be. I mean, they were baffled in the show, and then the solution ended up being within their own galaxy. But that also means that like anything could happen anywhere in the universe, and then we're just all screwed. Like,
true.
I just think
Yeah.
I just think it. To me, it's a funny idea that the scale of something could be universal. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. No, I hear you, and I think I misspoke, but anyhow, the basic idea, according, I'll end with this official synopsis. This epic comic book series takes place during the Burn, a galaxy-wide disaster which caused the destruction of every active warp core, killing trillions and shattering the peace, stability, enlightenment, and mutual protection the United Federation of Planets provided for 7 centuries. Facing a true Wild West in space, a mysteriously resurrected Captain Kirk will lead a new crew and ship in a seemingly impossible effort to uphold Starfleet's mission of unity across the cosmos.
What?
Yeah.
Kirk?
So forget everything. So
right.
According to one of the co-writers, forget everything you know about Star Trek. The Last Starship is a new crew, a new era, and a completely different tone. Our aim is to be literary, intense, innovative, and most of all, accessible. We're bringing you into the Federation's darkest hour through a brilliant noir-soaked lens with zero homework required.
Help me, James Tiberius Kirk. You're my only hope.
Maybe. I mean, we'll see. But I'll tell you that the best Star Trek stories have been told in comics the last 20 years.
Wow, that's a bold statement.
Yeah, it is.
So what are we reading next week, Ben? For book club?
Next week for book club, we're reading Star Trek Comic Compendium Volume 1.
All right.
No, we're going to read a Ray Bradbury short story. Thank you, Stephen, for picking "There Will Come Soft Rains" by Ray Bradbury. We've got links in the show notes to places where you can download a PDF, places where you can read it on a website, as well as a YouTube channel where you can listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
So
no excuses, students. We've got 3 different ways you can get to it. All right, but this week, what are we doing?
This week we're reading The Last Question by Isaac Asimov, which it's a banger. I'm just gonna say that right off the bat.
Some might say it's a big banger. Oh,
dang! Spoiler alert.
Spoilers.
That's good.
All right, so, let's get into it then.
Sure. Yeah, who wants to take this one? Who wants to start it?
Well, I like doing breakdowns here. This is great.
Sure.
So, The Last Question by Isaac Asimov. Let's see, was first copyrighted in 1956, and some say that it's his best short story ever.
Including Isaac Asimov.
Right. There's a quote here. He says, "This is by far my favorite story of all those I have written." Yeah. So, I mean, there you go. All right. So this story, and, big spoilers here. This story is told in time jumps.
Big time jumps.
Yeah. I'm scrolling through quickly 7 different time jumps, maybe. And so it starts off with the last question was asked for the first time, half in jest, on May 21st, 2061, at a time when humanity first stepped into the light. The question came about as a result of a $5 bet over highballs, and it happened this way. So in this world, there's a thing called a multivac. It's the best vacuum in all the universe. No,
it's specifically the last two letters AC. Automatic.
I know.
computer.
I was really jealous that they had an AC wherever they went because I get so hot. I'm like, if I could have a universal AC, I'm just always cool. That'd be sweet.
That would be amazing.
Devon, you are always cool.
Oh. All right. So the multivac is a giant computer, essentially. Did it stand for something? I don't remember.
Yeah. So automatic computer, So like it has different names depending on the era.
Right.
That it is. So multivac was like a big computer on Earth, right. And it starts off in 2061, and basically two of the mechanics or technicians that are working on making sure that the multivac continues to work and function, they're drinking along and basically ask the big question, which is, hey, like, can entropy ever be reversed, or massively decreased? Because they're like, thanks to multivac, we've got all this crazy amounts of energy that we've never had before, and we can essentially usher in a utopia and start interstellar travel and all this sort of stuff. And one of the technicians is really excited about it. The other one's like, don't get so excited. Energy's going to run out.
Eventually.
10 billion years. That's nothing. Don't get so excited. We're all going to be gone in 10 billion years. So
calm down.
Don't say we're going to go to another star. Those stars are also going to decay. Entropy takes over.
Right.
Why do anything?
Yeah.
Have another drink.
Yeah.
I mean, it is interesting, I think, that like two mechanics, that the job of a mechanic is to keep something running for as long as possible. Like, of course, this would be their end all question of like, how long are you going to be able to exist, not past entropy, right? And the thing essentially says back, insufficient data for meaningful answer.
Right.
And then time moves on.
Makes sense.
So then there's a fun time jump, and Geraldine, and Gerodette 1 and 2 watch the starry picture on the visiplate change as the passing through hyperspace was completed in its non-time lapse. So there's a big time
these
jump.
characters. These characters are heading to a new planet, X-23, but they all have similar names, implying, are they just clones of one another?
I mean, who knows what it's implying? It's implying something. But it's not called the multivac anymore. Now it's called
the microvac.
The microvac, and they're just like, can you believe that every single starship has its own microvac now that we can just talk to, and it just gives us answers. Which was pretty fun. And then, the question comes up of like, is this going to happen forever, or is there going to be an end? And the thing answers once again, insufficient data for meaningful answer. And they just kind of shrug and move along with their day. Then it takes another time jump, and now we got VJ-23X of Lamith stared into the black depths of the three-dimensional small-scale map of the galaxy and said, "Are we ridiculous, I wonder, in being so concerned about the matter?" And of course, they're talking about space and like how big the galaxy is and the rate of expansion of, I guess, humanity,
right,
or whatever it's turned into.
Yeah, and they have immortality.
If you're immortal, so at this point, it's now the galactic AC, by the way.
Right.
So this computer is galaxy-wide. This is the galactic AC has solved many problems for us, but in solving the problem of preventing old age and death, it has undone all its other solutions. That's crazy. Let's see.
But they're they're still talking about like, well, what are the problems that we're going to be solving or handling as a galactic, you know,
Society.
society. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, overpopulation, we're going to fill up all the galaxies we know in about 5 years at the present rate of
Yeah.
expansion.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Well, something interesting.
can entropy ever be reversed?
They have an AC contact that they call, like, from their pocket, placed on the table before them. So they contact the galactic AC through a device. And that just is like, that's what we have now with like Siri and stuff. Like, you talk to it, it goes out to a computer, does stuff, and then comes back with answers. And that's kind of interesting that
much of Siri still runs on device. Yeah, when it doesn't, it'll let you know.
Right. But if you ask it for like movie times, like, it has to reach out to the internet and come back with answers.
Yeah, for sure.
So they ask it,
and of course the answer is there is insufficient data for a meaningful answer about movie times.
And they ask, can entropy ever be reversed? And I like this. Like, we both know entropy can't be reversed. You can't turn smoke and ash back into a tree, which I thought was a good line.
Yeah.
Then we make another time jump.
Yep.
Z Prime's mind spanned the new galaxy with a faint interest of the countless twists of stars that powered it. He had never seen this one before. Would he ever see them all? So many of them, each with its load of humanity, but a load that was almost a dead weight. More and more, the real essence of men was to be found out here in space. So, I mean, this is like the singularity happened, right? Like,
right. Minds, there's a body somewhere, but it's your mind that goes travel. And there's little room
similar
in
to the story we read
memories.
a couple of weeks ago, where it turned out that they were just in a computer on Earth. But this is like that story if they hadn't been confined to a computer on Earth.
Yeah,
it's like the other half of the story almost. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And like the Z Prime comes across another mind named D Sub Woon, and they're in different galaxies potentially, because each galaxy calls their own galaxy just the galaxy. But
true, since all galaxies are the same.
Yeah. And so Z Prime's really curious and asks the universal AC, on which galaxy did mankind originate? And so, they find our original star that went nova and is now a white dwarf.
Yeah.
And,
did the man upon it die? Asked Lee Prime, startled and without thinking. The universal AC said, a new world, as in such cases, was constructed for their physical bodies in time. So, there. A new world was constructed for their bodies.
Yeah.
So, neat.
So.
Yeah, so then, again, how many...
The question gets asked.
Yeah. I do not wish it to happen even after billions of years. Universal AC, how may stars be kept from dying? D Sub 1 said in amusement, you're asking how entropy might be reversed in direction. And the Universal AC answered, there is yet insufficient data for a meaningful answer. So...
And another time jump.
And now there's just man.
Right. Oh, actually, so before this time jump, Z Prime he basically starts collecting interstellar hydrogen in order to build his own star. And so he's like, okay, well, if they're all going to die out, at least I can start to try to replenish some of them, create new ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point.
But then after this next time jump, all of man is mentally one creature consisting of a trillion ageless bodies, resting quiet and incorruptible, cared for by perfect automatons. Yeah, and the minds of all the bodies freely melt one into the other, indistinguishable.
Borg.
Right.
Oh, did we Borg? We Borged, didn't we?
We Borg.
Man said the universe is dying. Man looked about at the dimming galaxies. The giant stars, spendthrifts, were gone long ago. Back in the dimmest of the dim far past, almost all stars were white dwarfs fading to the end. So now there's a cosmic AC.
Which has part of it in, I think, subspace.
Is this the one that like lives in or hyperspace? I remember hyperspace.
Yeah, it was
mentioned.
in hyperspace and made of something that was neither matter nor energy. The question of its size and nature no longer had any meaning in terms
that man could comprehend, right?
Yeah.
You cut out a little bit. Yeah, cosmic AC, said man. How may entropy be reversed? The cosmic AC said, there is as yet insufficient data for a meaningful answer. Man said, collect additional data.
He's like, really? After all this time, I think you should try harder.
Yeah. And the cosmic
Whatever
AC,
data you need.
the AC responds, I will do so. I've been doing so for 100 billion years. My predecessors and I have been asked this question many times. All the data I have remains insufficient. Yeah.
But no problem is insoluble in all conceivable circumstances. So, you know, while it doesn't know how long it will take to get an answer, that, you know, it believes that the problem can be solved.
Yeah.
And man has asked, well, keep working on it. The cosmic AC says, I will. Now, here's a good thing that I want to bring up to our dear listeners. If you don't want to be spoiled on this, you should probably stop listening right now and read it.
Yeah, if this sounds interesting to you and you want to read it,
Yeah.
this is the point.
Mhm.
Stop listening, go read it, because then it gets
right.
real cool.
Yeah.
I'll just
So
read the last like page or paragraph at this point. We've explained 99% of it, so
It's a short enough story. It's worth it. But this is cool. And so the next time jump, the stars and there's two more time jumps. The next one, the stars and galaxies died and snuffed out, and space grew black after 10 trillion years of running. And so one by one, man is fusing with the AC, each physical body losing its mental identity in a matter that was somehow not a loss, but a gain. And there's one last mind that's asking, hey, AC, is this the end? Can this chaos not be reversed into the universe once more? Can that not be done? And AC says, say it with me, there is as yet insufficient data for a meaningful answer.
Yeah.
Yes. And so only AC exists, and that in hyperspace.
So we go to one final time jump.
Right. In which all other questions had been answered, but that first one that was asked back in 2061. And until that last question was answered, AC might not release his consciousness. But he finds a way.
I like how it becomes so abstract. That like a timeless interval was spent in doing that. Like we can't comprehend what's happening at this point.
Well, and time also might not have a real meaning at that point. If all energy is uniformly distributed through the universe, I mean, at that point, I don't know what happens with like relativity and things. Like it could be. It's kind of like, I mean, we can give the thing away now. I mean, we've told people it's spoilers. So basically, the universe restarts. He says, "Let there be light." So it's the idea of, you know, if we ask what came before the Big Bang, there's one of the common answers is, well, time started with the Big Bang. So there was no time before the Big Bang. So to say what's before the Big Bang is meaningless. It's a common example is like, what's north of the North Pole? There is nothing north of the North Pole. You're at north. So you're at the beginning of time. Nothing can exist before the beginning of time. So, and that's tangential because that's not really what they say in this, but that is where we're headed with the story. It's like, what's before the Big Bang, it turns out, or what could we consider God being? Some entity that has the ability to create the universe. Well, here's an entity that has the ability to create the universe, which stems from humanity, I guess. And you could say, does it repeat? Do all the same things set in motion again? And this is just a cycle? Do different intelligent beings come into existence and then do the same thing? Or is this just the one time it happens? And still, what if we're talking about the beginning of these people, who I guess would be us in the story, still doesn't answer where we came from, because it could imply like the cyclical nature of the universe, but it doesn't say that for sure. So
Yeah,
what we still, yeah,
yeah, it's
blah, blah,
that implication of a cyclical nature of the universe that
yeah,
we get so advanced that we become one with the galaxy and it dies and then it restarts. You know,
the universe, yeah.
and that's fine. Like as far as like mythologies go, that's a pretty good one.
No, I think it's really cool. I mean, that's talking to people or looking into like the whole God thing. It's like usually you can leave some room for, okay, something had to start the universe, some force, some whatever it is, some undefinable or possibly unknowable thing. To say that it's God and the God as we understand it as humans seems ridiculous, but I would be open to the possibility of there's something, you know, not necessarily, it doesn't necessarily have to be something, but there could be something. Um,
Mhm.
this is just as good of an explanation as anything else. I mean, I would always think like, okay, it's some, even if it's an intelligent entity, which again, there's no reason it has to be, it could be any incomprehensible thing, you know, and the idea that it would be what we understand as God just seems ridiculous.
Hmm.
So here's a cool story of, here's something it could be, um, just as viable as anything else, considering we'll probably
Yeah,
never know what it is.
in the world of making up things that we don't understand, here's another one.
Yeah.
Why not?
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, I thought that was a really cool ending to it.
Yeah,
Um,
Yeah, indeed.
and
that
to
was.
use that phrase in particular, "Let there be light," obviously is a reference to, you know,
Is that it? Was that the first day? Is that what God said? Is that?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, and and that's something that's kind of curious to me. Like, does this story work without the Judeo-Christian tradition? Without that, like I
No,
think yes,
no.
no,
but
I think
right,
I no,
like,
I think the story works. No, it would work. It would just be a
but the
different phrase if
yeah,
he
or the
referenced like,
punchline doesn't work necessarily.
well,
But
unless you're part of a different religion that uses a different
yeah, a
phrase
different
for whatever that is, and it says that
creation myth.
yeah, whatever creation myth you happen to be part of. I mean, we happen to live in a world where a particular creation myth dominates all the others, and so of course
Mm,
you would use that as an author who's writing a story like this. But
yeah,
I think the idea is more universal than just it having to be Judeo-Christian in origin.
yeah,
So this
yeah.
story, as it stands, if you don't know anything about the Judeo-Christian tradition, then that last line doesn't have the same punch. Like
No, it
Yeah,
definitely doesn't.
the term "let there be light" does
very firmly.
if you don't have the reference for it, it could just mean like, oh, it was darkness, and now it figured out a way to turn the lights back on. Cool, but it doesn't have that same punch. And you guys are right as well that if you chose a different creation myth and had that be the final punch at the end, then that would work for those people.
Mhm.
I liked this story. I thought it was cool. The way the time jumps were done, and the way like the AC, right, this automatic computer was slowly given more power over
Yeah,
the years of being like, here's a big machine and it's helping, to like, oh wow, everyone has one, to like, oh, it's like a universal consciousness that we can all tap into. Like, that was cool that it just kept upping the ante as time went on until humanity just fused with it. And that's, I don't know, it was a cool, like the momentum of the story felt right. That was
yeah.
I
really cool.
saw a YouTube video very similar to this. I think it was done by Pursuit of Wonder, and I'm like, well, now I know where he got the idea because it was very similar to this.
Hmm.
Um, Not that it was good, and I think I should go back and watch it. It was a very direct link to this because I know it had like future humans with really weird names and like advanced technology to be able to like manipulate matter and stuff. I'm like, it probably was I mean, at the end, he might have even cited the story, so I should go back and watch it.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, within the context of this story, you could have an infinite amount of fiction. You know, because it's
Right.
like, oh, you know, because you could find a place to slot it into, and it would work. You want Terminators? You could put Terminators in there. It's fine.
Well, just the idea that if the universe is infinite in time and space, that eventually your entropy will take over, but also eventually you will have done everything. Like this,
Yeah.
like even with entropy, this, universal AC computer with humans integrated with it, our consciousnesses, was able to exist. So assuming it, like, as your mind has done every conceivable iteration of whatever activity or thought it could do, the only thing left is kind of like, well, let's start over. Like, there's nothing to do. Let's just start it all over, and whatever comes after that, it might be new, might not, but whatever, it's out of our hands.
Yeah.
So
It's like
it's
when
the only
you're
thing left to do.
when you're playing a video game that you love, but you've done everything, so you start it over.
Yeah.
That's so Ben understands what you're talking about.
Thanks. Yeah, I really didn't know. For sure.
Oh, wonderful. All right, guys. Yeah, good story. I recommend everyone read it. Read it in full. It'll take you about 20 minutes. It's great. Check out the links in the show notes. Of course, next week, there will come Soft Rains by Ray Bradbury. We've got all those links, tasty links in our show notes, so check those out. And with that, I'm going to call it, guys. We just hit an hour, and I think that's perfect. Just perfect.
Epic.
Devon, do you have any final thoughts?
No, I don't.
Oh. Ben, do you have any last words?
So there's this girl at my son's school. She has a battery shop she runs at recess. It's true. She sells D-cells by the seesaw.
Good night, everybody.
This has been the Science Faction Podcast. Tweet to the host at SciFact Podcast. Email them at sciencefactionpodcast@gmail.com and visit sciencefactionpodcast.com for more episodes.